loosened. And we're going to do this bolt and this bolt. Good? Alright, so we're just going to take this and we're going to go down. There we go. Okay, so loosen that. And now do this one. Loosen that too much. There it is. You still recording? Oh, good. Alright, so I'll take this out. Oh, mind the way the light? Well, yeah, my head goes in front of it. Sorry, you got to adapt. There we go. And then take this off. Okay, so now we got our caliper off. We're going to take it. And since we're going to be removing this piece as well and removing the rotor, we need to tie this up out of the way so that you don't have it fall to the ground and pull these hoses off. So we're just going to tie it up here, take whatever you want to do to tie it, zip tie, bungee cord. I have this wire tie and we're just going to tie it up here so it's out of our way while we're working on the rest of it. Okay, so now we're just going to take the pads off. Alright, slide these out. Both sides. Okay, there's still a little bit left on them, but that's all good. Put these aside, and then now we're going to take this bracket off right here, and you'll see there are 2 more bolts back here that we have to remove to pull this off, and then we'll be able to take the rotor off. Alright, so the 21mm socket is now going to do these bolts back here. Can you see those okay? Do you need to pan the camera around? Do you need more light? Okay. So we're going to do that bolt, and then this one up here. Okay, and that'll take off this bracket. So now, just because I'm going to be like, you want to take these off evenly. So do a little bit of this one, go back and do a little bit more of this one. There, now they're loosened by hand. So we got the 2 bolts out, so now this piece will come right off. So we'll take that piece off, and we'll set that aside. Okay. So on your rotor, you're going to have these little locking rings right here. And I got this one started. You're just going to need some needle nose pliers, get up underneath there and pull it out and then spin it off. So you just need to pull up on those locking rings to get them off the threads and then spin it off, and it'll spin right off the threads. It's going to take you a couple minutes to do this, but once you get it loosened, it goes really fast. And then you'll just pull it right off and you're done. And then just repeat for the other side. Okay, so this was the last one to take off. If you noticed earlier, it was over here. And I was having problems getting my hand in here with the pliers because all this stuff was in the way. So if you just rotate the wheel so that it's on the outside, then you can easily just grab it and take it off. Then when you get the last one off, your rotor will just come right off. But be careful when you have that on there, because when this was on tight and the rotor bends like that, you've got to try and take it off and hold it straight at the same time. So it takes a little bit, but you can do it. And then now your rotor is off. We'll put the new rotor on, clean this up. We'll clean this up a little bit. I'll go get a brush and clean all this stuff up before I put the new rotors on, but we got the old rotors off. Okay, so I cleaned off all of this. You can see this is all clean. I took my wire brush, washed it all up, wiped it down with a rag, and that's all clean. We got our new rotor right here. And we'll put this on. Now these have slots in them, so you make sure you look at the instructions because they do go on a right side or a left side. And we will just slide those right on there. Okay, and then we can put our pins back on to hold it tight. Just twist those back on. They just thread back on like normal. We threaded them off. Alright, we'll get that one on, and then we'll get this one on across from it, just like they were before. And we'll tighten these down, and then we'll start putting everything back together. And you can see the amount of pressure I need to put on it to hold it tight, so that these will hold it where it's supposed to be. Just like that. And now it's on. There. Okay, so now we will start putting our other pieces back together. Alright, so we've got this we've got to put back on. Okay. Alright, so I might wipe this down a little bit before I put it back on too. Alright, so we've got this one all shined up, so we'll do this side too. See that? Your wire brush. Get all that brake dust out of there so that your pads will slide nice and smooth in there. Okay, and we get these other side. We already got these ones. So those all look nice and shiny. Get that brake dust off of there. I mean, you can do all this if you really wanted to make your part look brand new. Get a lot of this built up old brake dust off of here. Alright, so now we're going to put this back on. We've got to line it up with our holes, so we're going to put this right back on over here. We're going to make sure our holes are lined up. We are going to put some Loctite on these. So, come on, bring your hand over here. Put some Loctite on it. You can go under there. Just squeeze that on there. Perfect. So we got a little bit of Loctite on there. That's good. Right? And so now we're just going to put this bolt, flashlight back in here. Make sure this is all lined up. Okay. So now we're just going to put this one back in here. And we're going to get that lined up. Just like that. And so now we will take our 21mm ratchet that we had before, and we will just snug these down. We'll switch it over. And now we'll just start tightening these down until we have it tightened all the way back on. Okay, so these are our brand new ceramic pads to go with our cross-drilled and slotted rotors that we got. So we'll just go ahead, and we got our rests from the slide-in all shined up. So we will just go ahead and put those in there on both sides here. And now we will untie the caliper and push the pistons back in and put that over it. Okay, so I got a C-clamp over here. I've got the old brake pad going over the two pistons, and I'm just going to tighten this down, and that's going to compress the pistons back in. Alright, so I got the pistons pushed back in, so now we're going to go ahead and put the caliper back on here. So we're just going to slide this back over, put that on there, make sure my boot is out of the way, there, and it's on. So now we will take our bolts that hold the caliper on, and we will go ahead and put those in, top and bottom. Alright, so we're on the back rotors now. we're just gonna have to remove this bolt and then this one down here, and they are a 10 millimeter. Got it? Okay, so 10 millimeter on these two bolts. So we'll get that loose, and we'll get this one loose. There we go. Boom. So we'll pull those out. Pull those out. So then we'll just wiggle this off. Right there. Boom. And we will take this and set it up here. Right there. Okay. And then we're gonna have to come down here and take off these two spinners again to pull the rotor off. Okay, so we got our stupid little tangs off. And now we gotta get the rotor off, and it's a little stuck. So just tap it a little bit with a hammer to loosen it up. And it should come right off. So there's that. Again, I'll clean up some of this stuff. All right, so this is your adjuster for your parking brake. These are your shoes for your parking brake. And so I just take a screwdriver and spin this, and that is going to adjust your tension on your parking brake or your emergency brake, whatever you want to call it. And we will just fit the new rotor in there over the shoes until we get a snug fit. So here is the rear rotor for that, and these shoes on the back side will go right on this lip right here. So this will be your parking brake right on here. So we're just gonna fit this on here, and we're gonna see how snug it is, and we're just gonna rock it back and forth and keep adjusting it with the screwdriver until we get a tight fit, so that when you apply your parking brake, your tire won't move. All right, good parking brake. And we'll start screwing these on. There's that side. There's that side. Walk it out. Boom. So we got that out. The old shoe. But this one's still in there. We're going to take our C-clamp. And push the piston back in using the shoe. Alright. Take that off. Then we'll pull this shoe out. And then we've got the new one. So this is the exact same shoe. So we'll just put this back in there. Push that in there. Good. And then this one goes back on this side. Wait a minute, it's upside down. Right, there we go. So pull those clips out. And there we go. And then we just put it back on.